I'm John from Mustang of Chicago, and I'm out here today in Las Vegas to help Scott and Jerry with the 1967 Mustang Convertible SEMA project. Today we're going to be removing the left-hand quarter panel along with the inner and outer wheelhouse. We're going to start today in the back half of the vehicle, and what we're going to do is we're going to remove the end cap area and we're going to drill out the spot welds that attach the quarter panel to the tail lamp panel piece. Now the reason we want to drill out the spot welds and keep the end cap portion that is already welded to the quarter panel is, as you can see, we have very nice lines here. We want to keep this integrity. Not only that, if you notice, the previous shop has already done repairs to the tail lamp panel. So we want to keep this all together. Therefore, we can make the best possible lines when we attach the new quarter panel and be able to move this portion in and out and this portion up and down. We'll start by removing the end cap. It's always a good idea to make sure you have gloves on and have a pair of safety glasses on, because there will be metal coming off the vehicle. With the end cap removed, you can see certain factory spot welds along with some brazing. The brazing will have to be die cutted out. Also in here you will see that there are also 2 to 3 spot welds attaching what we call the upper ear portion piece of the tail lamp panel to the quarter panel, which would be drilled. And then also you will see that there is brass in here, or brazing as well, which will need to be removed. We have attached to the drill a nice, we call spot weld removal tool by Matco Products. Very nice. It uses a pilot tap instead of a drill bit, therefore you're not drilling through all the metal. Noticed sometimes the spot weld removal tool will catch a groove and will pull itself up or down, so it's not a bad idea to keep an extra hand on there, keep it focused. You don't want to apply a lot of pressure that will allow it to walk. You want to let the tool do its job for you. Now, as I mentioned earlier, with a lot of metal going around, it is always a wise idea to grab your safety glasses. And once again, make sure you always have them on. You also want to make sure that you put lubricant on spot weld areas you'll be removing to keep the drill bit and spot weld cutter tool cool as you're working. You may also notice, since the vehicle's already been sandblasted, it is very flush. It sometimes is difficult to follow or find the spot welds, but as you can see, Ford typically did it every 2 to 3. There's probably another one right here. 2 to 3 inches is where the spot welds will be. Looks like from this vehicle, they have also put an extra amount of brazing down in here, which we'll need to die cut out. Like I had mentioned earlier, generally there are 1 and 2 spot welds going from the ear portion to this quarter panel. And usually they'll have 2 spot welds here as well, and some brazing from the underneath, which needs to be removed. At this point in time, as you can see, we have drilled out the spot welds back here, up here, and also down here. Because of the amount of brazing that is here from the quarter panel to the B-pillar, we have decided that we're going to make a cut now with the air hammer tool down here, and then we're going to back grind this instead of drilling out the spot welds. We're also going to cut a line up at the top because somebody has already previously done repair. We're going to grind the metal flush as well. And we're going to come back down here. We're going to make a cut down remove the quarter panel. That'll give us access to the brazing and whatever else may still be holding up the quarter panel at this portion. At this point in time, we've had the quarter panel removed. We also needed to remove the trunk drop area due to a dent. We're going to move forward now. We've made our marks as far as where we want to put the brace for the trunk lid. We're going to start to cut out the inner and outer wheelhouse. I've also gone forward and drilled out all the spot welds where it meets the trunk floor and then the frame down in here. Alright, as you can see, the inner and outer wheelhouse have been removed. Basically now we're down to a little bit of back grinding, straighten, remove the excess metal that may be in our way to help fit the new Scott Drake inner and outer wheelhouse for a 67, 68 convertible that is now available. So at this point in time in the project, we have gotten all the burrs and all the metal cleaned up and fit. We got the inner and outer wheelhouse up into place, being held in by vice grips. Fit beautifully. Really impressed with the product. Now we're going to move forward. We're going to fit the quarter panel. We're going to screw or vice grip everything into place. Once everything is acceptable, we will move forward and weld her in. At this time we have the quarter panel and the filler panel and the wheelhouse in its preliminary position. We have a wonderful end cap line to start with. We have a good line right here. We have a beautiful line right here at the door. We have held the quarter panel and the wheelhouse in place with various vice grips and self-tapping screws. We're basically down to fitting the door and the deck lid and squaring everything off. Once that's accomplished, we will then tack all the metal into place. After that, we will go forward with a second check to make sure that everything is aligned, because once you start to weld, the metal will move on you. So you have to pay attention as you're welding due to the heat. Keeping that in mind, also keep in mind, once you weld her into place, she is permanent. So always double check before you start to tack. Always check as you are welding all the pieces together to make sure nothing has moved out of position.